All right, so you sent us H.G. Wells' The Time Machine.
Oh, a classic.
It is. And you know what's really cool? You've also included some of your own thoughts about time travel.
Yeah, just some theories, you know?
I love it. We'll definitely circle back to those later. But first,
Okay.
let's dive into the world that Wells created. What's fascinating is how he frames the story as a first-hand account.
Right. It's like, did this really happen?
Exactly. It really blurs the lines.
Make you think.
It does. So picture this. Our time traveler builds this incredible machine and embarks on his journey.
Okay, I'm with you.
He throws the lever and boom, the world around him just dissolves.
Wow.
Everything's a blur. He sees entire seasons flash by in seconds.
Wow, that must be so disorienting.
Right. And I think that detail about the seasons changing so fast,
Yeah.
it's not just there for dramatic effect. It kind of foreshadows the drastic changes he's about to encounter.
I see, like a warning.
Yeah, exactly. He eventually arrives in the year 802,701 AD,
Okay, way in the future.
way in the future. And at first glance, it seems like paradise.
Paradise.
Lush vegetation everywhere. Beautiful people called the Eloi.
Okay.
They seem to spend their days just enjoying life.
Sounds idyllic.
It does, right? They're described as being almost childlike.
Childlike. Interesting.
Very innocent, but also
Yeah, I was going to say there's got to be something more to it.
there is. Wells starts to hint that something isn't quite right.
Okay.
The Eloys are fragile. They don't seem to have any curiosity.
Almost like they've stopped evolving.
Yeah, stagnant. And then there's this...
But wait, hold on.
Yeah,
Before you move on, think about it. If everyone's so content, why would they need to evolve?
that's a good point. It's almost as if they've become too comfortable,
Exactly.
and things get even stranger when the time traveler's machine vanishes.
His time, I mean, gone.
Poof, just disappears.
And no one reacts.
The Eloi, not really.
That's so bizarre.
It's like they've lost the ability to be concerned.
Yeah, that's not right.
This is where Wells starts to dismantle the time traveler's initial assumption that he's found a utopia.
Yeah, utopias never really work out, do they?
Not in fiction, at least. The disappearance of the machine, the Eloy's indifference,
Cracks in the facade.
big cracks. And then, of course, there are the Morlocks.
Oh, here we go.
Things take a darker turn here.
I was just thinking that.
The Morlocks are the opposite of the Eloi.
In what way?
Well, they're pale, nocturnal,
Okay.
almost ape-like.
Creepy.
And they have these large, unsettling eyes.
Oh, I bet those are freaky.
They dwell in this subterranean world, completely separate from the Eloi.
So two distinct societies.
There's like a chilling exaggeration of the class divide.
You know, Wells was writing this in Victorian England.
Right, a time of huge social inequality.
Exactly. The wealthy elite living in luxury, while the working class toiled away in factories.
It makes you wonder if he was drawing a parallel.
I think so, and it makes you think about the potential consequences, doesn't it? What happens when that divide grows too wide?
That's a great point. The time traveler's descent into the Morlock's world is one of the most unsettling parts of this story.
Oh, yeah. What's it like?
He finds this underground realm filled with machinery, darkness.
Oh, that's scary.
You can almost feel the sense of dread. His reaction is pure disgust and fear.
Like a nightmare.
Exactly. And what he discovers down there is truly horrifying.
Okay, I'm on the edge of my seat. What is it?
The Morlocks are preying on the Eloi.
What?
They're farming them.
No way. Like livestock.
It's a chilling thought, right? There's even this scene where he sees them dragging a dark shape into the wood.
Oh gosh, I can only imagine.
It's left to the reader's imagination, but it's pretty clear what's happening.
So much for that utopia.
Right, that initial theory is shattered.
He had it all wrong.
The Eloi, in their pursuit of ease and comfort, have become completely dependent on the Morlocks.
And the Morlocks have evolved into something terrifying.
It's a cautionary tale about unchecked technological advancement.
Yeah, progress isn't always what it seems.
Exactly. And it makes you wonder, what are the potential consequences of the choices we're making today?
Good question. We need to think about that.
It's a chilling thought, isn't it? I mean, that the pursuit of ease and comfort could actually lead to our downfall,
It's like a warning.
and the time travelers fight for survival against the Morlock.
Oh yeah, what happens there?
Well, it gets pretty intense. He uses matches and camphor to fight them off.
Matches, really?
Yeah, anything he can find. But in all the chaos, he loses Weena.
Weena, oh, the Eloi he befriended.
Yeah, her death is a turning point, I think.
Yeah, it kind of shows how much he's become involved.
He's not just an observer anymore.
Right, and her death also highlights how bleak this future really is.
Definitely. And his journey takes him even further.
Further into the future.
Millions of years.
Wow.
And the landscapes become even stranger.
Okay, give me an example.
Well, at one point he encounters giant crabs on a beach.
Giant crabs.
Yeah, under a giant red sun.
That's wild, almost like a different planet.
And then eventually he witnesses the last dying Earth.
Dying Earth.
It's a frozen wasteland. No life, just silence.
That's a far cry from the technological utopia we often imagine.
It really challenges our assumptions about progress.
Yeah, it's not always upwards and onwards, is it?
I think Wells is offering a more cyclical view of history.
Cyclical how?
Civilizations rise and fall. Even humanity itself can evolve in unexpected ways.
So we might not be on top forever.
Exactly. And it makes you wonder, what are the choices that we're making now that might lead us down a similar path?
I see what you mean. Remember, you mentioned something about branching timelines earlier.
Yeah, that's what's so fascinating about this whole thing.
How so?
Well, the time traveler's journey, could it have been just one possible outcome? Maybe in another timeline?
We did things differently.
Exactly. Maybe there's a timeline where humanity made different choices.
And avoided all this?
Right, a timeline where we achieved a truly sustainable and just society.
It's a nice thought.
But Wells leaves that question open.
Which is what makes it so thought-provoking.
Exactly. It makes you think about the power of choices.
Both individually and as a species.
Absolutely. And it adds this whole other layer of mystery to the time traveler's return.
Wait, he returns? To his own time?
Yeah, he comes back to that Victorian dinner party.
And what's he like?
Well, he's changed, obviously. You can tell he's seen some things.
I bet
But he still can't shake this feeling that humanity's on a path to self-destruction.
he's still worried.
And then, get this, his time machine vanishes again.
What? Again?
Yep, just disappears.
So we don't know what happens to him.
Nope. Wells leaves that ambiguous.
Did he go on another adventure? Or was it all just a dream?
We don't know. It makes you think about the nature of time itself.
And the limits of our understanding?
For sure. But it also makes you wonder about the impact of the time traveler's journey.
Impact. How do you mean?
Well, if we embrace this idea of branching timelines,
Yeah.
could his actions have actually influenced the future he witnessed?
Interesting. Like he inadvertently created the dystopia.
It's possible, right? It makes you think about the ethics of time travel.
Meddling with the past or future.
Exactly. Are we just observers? Or can our actions actually change the timeline?
Big questions.
Huge. So, with all that in mind, what can we take away from this?
From the time traveler's story.
Yeah. What can it teach us about our responsibility for shaping the future?
Well, I think the main takeaway is that the future isn't predetermined.
Okay.
It's shaped by the choices we make now.
In the present,
Exactly. The time traveler's journey is like a cautionary tale.
what kind of warning?
A warning about unchecked technological advancement, social stratification.
And the pursuit of ease and comfort,
Right. Those things can have unintended consequences.
and potentially disastrous ones.
That's the point Wells is trying to make.
It really does make you think about the long game, you know? Like, what kind of future are we creating?
It's easy to forget sometimes we're so focused on the now.
Right. But the time machine, it forces you to take a wider view.
To think about the consequences.
Exactly. What kind of world are we leaving for future generations?
And it brings to mind another interesting aspect of time travel, the butterfly effect.
Oh, yeah. I've heard of that.
Even the tiniest actions can have massive ripple effects.
Like a butterfly flaps its wings and causes a hurricane on the other side of the world.
Exactly. It makes you think about the time traveler.
Yeah.
His presence in the future. Could he have actually changed things?
Just by being there?
It's a question Wells leaves open.
It's kind of scary when you think about it.
It does add a moral dimension to time travel.
Because if his journey did change things, it means time travel isn't just about observing.
It's about shaping the future.
Wow. That's a lot of responsibility.
It makes you think twice about meddling with time.
Definitely. Wells was brilliant at weaving these big ideas into his stories.
He wasn't just writing entertainment.
No, the time machine is more than that.
It's a warning, a philosophical exploration.
It makes you question everything. Our choices, our place in time.
And that's what great literature does.
It stays with you.
Makes you think differently.
Well, I know I'll never look at time travel the same way again.
Me neither.
Thank you so much for guiding us through this deep dive.
It's been my pleasure.
It's been an incredible journey. Who knows, maybe someday we'll have our own time machines.
Imagine that.
But until then, I guess all we can do is learn from the past
Make good choices in the present.
and hope for the best.
Here's to a better future.